Hey guys, welcome to, sorry it's a little bit crooked, but time is of the essence. Welcome to another installment in the Year of the Stash challenge. So this time this went really fast and I kind of used a prompt, not kind of, I used a prompt, sorry, this is just a hair thing. So I used a prompt from the amazing Tracy Banks Mercy Tiara. I'm a patron of hers and on Patreon, of course, and one of the rewards she's offering now, she has a new series, I think it will become a class eventually, about documenting your high school years. I think it's high school, I'm not sure if like it's the whole school or just high school. And anyway, she posted recently the second video, I want to say, in that series, and I just listened to her, just listened to her, printed a bunch of photos of my high school from the internet. I don't think I have photos from my high school, and some of my older photos are in Israel and I don't have them here. So I just printed a bunch of those and created a layout about that, like super fast. Now you will see it's not my regular style. It has 3 photos, it's kind of blocky, but I used my stash. I used mostly crate paper stuff, and it was fun, it was fast, it was easy. And what I like about this particular layout is you will see it created very soon. So what I liked about it is that I used 2 pattern papers, and basically I don't like scraps. I don't like having scraps. I try not to, because for me they go to a box. I have a little box full of scraps, which I intend to tackle in a future video on this series. But I feel like when they go there, it's like, you know, I don't know, it's like the Bermuda Triangle or something. The scraps that go there are never to be found again. So I did my best and succeeded almost entirely to use the second pattern paper, obviously one for the background and then another one for the layout. And this is what I have left from it. And I didn't use any other pattern papers. So I hope you'll use that tip to, you know, use 2 whole 12 by 12 pattern papers without, well, almost without. I could have used this, but I was kind of like, I didn't want to force it, and yeah. So without scraps. So I hope you will enjoy that. And yeah, ooh, and all the journaling. So Tracy offers a lot of like really great journaling prompts, because I'm horrible at journaling, period. And then something that happened like so long ago, especially something that, you know, was such a large, you know, a long period. High school was 3 years, at least in Israel it's 3 years, and that's a lot of time, and that was 20 years ago. So you know, I can only kind of remember bits and pieces. I definitely can't remember like the daily life. What I did, I just grabbed a piece of 6 by 12. I mean, I cut another 12 by 12. I cut it into a 6 by 12 strip, and it's kind of like a ledger sort of thing. So I just filled this with journaling because I didn't have space on the layout, which you will see. So I hope you're inspired to dig into your stash, and thank you for all the great feedback I got on the previous video. If you haven't subscribed already, then please subscribe and hit that notification button, and then you won't miss a single video. And of course, if you want to support me on Patreon, that would be amazing. I offer more videos and content there. So yeah, let's get scrapping. So I'm showing you how I started this. I pulled out this pile of pattern paper. This is probably about, I would say, more than 50% of the pattern paper in my stash. So I probably have about a 4-inch pile
maximum, I would say. Probably more like 3-inch. Yeah, anyway, that doesn't matter. Just to give you an idea of the size of my stash. It's probably I have more embellishments at this point than pattern papers. So I just pulled out this pile, and I wasn't going to go through the whole thing. I was going to stop once I had about a few pattern papers, probably no more than 4, and including one that I liked for my background. Since we are doing stash dives here, I don't feel like doing mixed media. I just want to use, I want something fast. I want to be able to finish a layout in one sitting, and I want to use pattern papers. So right off the bat, I liked that crate paper that I have there. It's now beneath that camera paper. It goes from like a wood grain pattern to pink, and I think it's from a Maggie Holmes collection. I'm not sure which one because I removed the manufacturer's strip, sadly. So I can't tell you which one it was, but yeah, it's definitely crate. So the photos, I think I will probably spend most of the video telling you about my high school because the design itself is super straightforward. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about the design also. So I also liked how this paper looked with that other paper I picked, and this one I think I will soon show you which paper it is. It's from the Chasing Dreams collection by Maggie Holmes. I think 2016 it was. It's called Memories. So I somehow really liked how the photos looked on that, the other side, that blue paper. It's a dark color and I don't use a lot of dark colors, but I felt as a photo mat it worked really well because you can't see a lot of it. And I don't know, I felt like it complemented my photos. So I cut off the strip. I had an idea of using that strip of cameras, but I don't end up doing this. And what I mentioned in the beginning of the video, in my intro part of it, is that I really tried to just use up this whole pattern paper. I didn't want to create any scraps, and so I will end up using most of it, and this is how, by using the two sides of the same pattern paper for my photo mats, and then I'll create another little area which you will see soon. Can you believe it? I am inking up edges, people. I'm inking up the edges. I haven't done this in forever. This I was totally channeling my inner Shamel, using multiple photos and blocky designs and lots of pattern papers and inking up edges. Yes, and it was fun. It was quick. And yeah, I do like how it looks because I have kind of busy patterns, I would say. I mean, they're not insanely busy and the color scheme is quite narrow, but I do feel the inking up the edges, I mean, first of all, it's fun to do, and yeah, secondly, I think it helps kind of separate the pattern papers from the background, if that makes sense, and yeah, it just looks a little bit more finished, I feel. So I'm inking it with this blending tool and the Stays On ink. I think it's called, I don't know, it's a dark gray, what's it called? Something Dove Gray, I think it's called, which I prefer to black. Black is so harsh, so I went with gray. And yeah, that's how I'm going to use the other bits and pieces. So very, very blocky. And this is pretty much the base of my design. And I mentioned why I'm, scrapbooking this topic. It's thanks to Tracy Banks. And yeah, so let me tell you about my high school. So my high school I went to high school in Israel in a small town. Well, I don't know. Small, I guess, is relative. It's the third largest town in Israel. It's called Haifa. It's on the coast of the Mediterranean, and it's considered quite, I would say, a boring provincial town. But it is beautiful. It's kind of hilly, and then there's the sea, which, you can't go wrong with the sea. And it was a lovely place to grow up in. We would, I have to admit, I ditched school a couple of times to go to the big city of Tel Aviv, and provincial little me. So, all in all, high school was good. I was, kind of a straight A student. I would say that scholastically, is that a word? I peaked in high school. And, well, later, I went to medicine school, and obviously I decided that if I am average in medicine school, then I'm still in a good place, because I had some really scary, clever people with me in med school. So, but I did very well in high school. That's just what it's all about. I was kind of like, you have to do good in like math and everything, and then you can choose whatever you want in university and all that stuff. So my high school experience, I would say, was pretty average. I don't know. I wasn't super weirdo. I wasn't super popular. I had a small group of friends, and two of them remained lifelong friends. One of them I actually met in high school. The other one I met in elementary school. And it was a large campus. I actually came from a smaller, like my junior high was pretty small. I think we were, in each class. Junior high in Israel is from the 7th grade till the 9th grade, and then high school is from the 10th till 12th grade. So junior high, we had, I think, maybe 3 or 4 classes in each year. So altogether, the entire junior high was like 12 classes, 300 people, I guess, in total, something like that. And then in high school, we had, I think, between 10 and 12 classes for each, grade. So, like 3 times bigger than, I'm just trying to figure out the years. When I was there, it was in the previous millennium. I can't believe it. So it was kind of a big change, and my junior high was kind of a small school with a few buildings, and then kind of a concrete, playing area in the middle. And then high school was more like a university campus, I would say, with grass and trees and just a larger scale. And it was lovely. We did all kinds of things. I don't know how, I think probably for every country there's a unique high school experience. For me, the things that stand out were we had... Well, the society in Israel, unfortunately, because of the history and the situation and everything, it has a pretty deep connection to the military. And, because we've had like so many wars in the little time that Israel exists. And I don't want to go into politics like at all. I'm just trying to explain to you how it is. So, for example, every year we have a Memorial Day for all the, soldiers and nowadays it's also the victims of terror attacks. And there are ceremonies across the country. And in my high school, I don't know if that still goes on. I have no idea. But in my days and in the decades before that, and probably after that also, we had this big ceremony where all the classes of the school attend, and basically we march. It looks like an army ceremony, I would say, because we march like soldiers. And we stand there in the like little stadium that we have there, And of course, then people, you know, read all kinds of sad things. And it's a very special day, I would say. It's special in the whole Israeli experience. And I don't think a lot of schools have this type of ceremony with such a militant feel to it. I don't know. So that's like one of the things that just stayed in my mind, and I don't think here in Austria there's anything like it. You know, obviously, you know, in Europe we had the two, well, they had, I didn't grow up here, and I wasn't alive at the time, thank goodness. They had the 2 world wars here, so there is history, but it's just not the same. I feel it's just not the same like in Israel. So that's kind of one of the things that comes to mind. And also, we have obligatory military service in Israel. I served 2 years in the army. Men serve 3 years. Women serve 2 years. And you go directly after high school. Only on special occasions, people are allowed to go to university first and then serve in the army. Of course, if you are healthy and able. And yeah, so when we finished high school, it was quite a big deal because people then go to the army, and, you know, some people go to dangerous places, and it's just, yeah, what can I say? I don't even know, you know, to try to put all that into few words is very, very challenging. But yeah, and luckily I had the fortune to serve my military service. I served as a teacher, like a private tutor, and to kids in high school, kids who actually attended my high school. So because I was such a good student, I had the privilege and possibility to serve my time in the army like that. So I was very lucky. I still, you know, lived at home. And my best friend also did the same thing, so we kind of spent our military service together. So I basically stayed 2 more years in high school, you can say. And the army was definitely, you know, one of the best years of my life, and not a lot of people are fortunate enough to say that. So that was also possible because I went to this particular high school, because they only took you know, graduates from that high school to come back and teach kids that go there. So yeah, okay, I'll tell you a little bit about the stuff I used. I basically kind of dived into my chipboard drawer, where it's mostly crepe paper, and I picked out a few random things and kind of just added them to my layout. And then I also checked out my stickers and added some stickers, all the pencils that I could find in my stash. And then I added a little bit of journaling on that sticker that I have right there. But most of it is on the 6x12 piece of paper that I show at the beginning. And yeah, I just really wanted to thank Tracy for coming up with this class, with this concept. It really, this layout would never have happened without her prompts about documenting high school. I need to check out the first installment in that series or future class, because this was the second one. So I'll check the first and see if I can make also a layout about that. And yeah, so this is the 6x12 paper that I chose. I don't know what I was like going on there with the globes. I think it just reminds me of, you know, school, geography, which was one of my most hated subjects, I admit, even though I'm obsessed with traveling. But yeah, learning geography is not as much fun as traveling is. So, people, go dive into your stash. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you feel inspired. And I want to thank you for watching. I wish you a lovely day. That's it. Bye.